Brown food. Who doesn't love some good old brown colored food? Now, this video was a request from one of you, and I do see people struggling with it. I'm going to show you how to photograph brown food and make it look appetizing. I'm going to show you some of my tips and tricks to achieve your goals. Now, I have seen some common mistakes quite a bit, and I'm going to show you some easy fixes for these common mistakes. So if you're into brown food and you want to get better quality images, then stick around. This video is for you. Now have a look at some of these images. Can you tell what's going on? Why do these images work so well? What makes them look so really appetizing? Well, that is our first topic. That is lighting. Lighting is a huge part. When you're trying to do kind of a dark food photography or a darker subject, lighting is huge. So in brown food, the lighting is very key to it. I mean, look at this image here. You can see that is dull, that is flat, that is boring. That stew does not look appetizing whatsoever. Now, we need to pump up the lighting. We need to correct our lighting to do that. Now, what happens if we change our lighting up a bit? Now, you can see this one looks a little better, but it's still lacking something. Do you know what it is? Look at this one. Now, look at the difference between the last one and this one. See the specular highlights. That is key in your lighting to make your food look moist and appetizing, and also to help give a little more dimension to it. Now let's put these three on the screen at the same time. Look at the dull flat. Look at the one without the specular highlights. Then look at the one with those gorgeous specular highlights on it. That stew now looks ready to eat, and it looks good. Now, to get that specular highlighting, I mean, we're not just talking stew here. What happens if we take some meat like a burger and we paint a little water or glycerin or oil or something on it to make that dried out piece of meat look fresh, juicy, and sparkling? It looks good. Now, it doesn't have to be meat. What happens if we do it on some fruit? The same thing. You create those little specular highlights, those little catch lights. It's the same as when you're doing a portrait and you get the catch lights in the eye. It brings the image to life. And that's what you want to do with your food photography, especially when you're shooting the brown food stuff. All right, here's another big point, and I see this one a lot. Check out this image. Doesn't that look good? No, it doesn't. It's kind of got a green color to it. It doesn't look very appetizing. Why is that? The white balance is incorrect within the camera, and it wasn't even corrected in post. So let's correct it right now. Look at that. Look how good that looks now. Now it looks like you want to eat it. Put them side by side. Look at the difference. So correcting your white balance is crucial. You can go in and dial in within the Kelvin settings. You have your presets within your cameras. You can even do a gray card prior to set your white balance. But white balance is crucial, especially in food photography, because you need that food to look good. So white balance is the next point that we needed to correct. Okay, we've got this brown food, and it's not the most exciting color in the world, in my opinion. So what else can we do? We've looked at our lighting. We've looked at our white balance. We've added some specular highlighting in. What else can we do to this food to make it pop? Why don't we add some color? Look at these green peas next to that meat pie. It just helps pop that color out, and it makes a little more impact with the image. Look at these beautiful waffles. And on top, bright red strawberries and that little hint of green from the mint. That little pop of color really helps up your game on that image. It gives it a little more contrast. It gives it a little more interest. You can pull the other way and go monotone. What happens if we have all browns? Look at this. Chocolate chip cookies. Man, they look good. Nice and thick and chunky. Chocolate chips spread. What are they spread on? Wood. All different shades of brown. But look how well that images work. It works well because the lighting is adding some dimension, and it's adding some interest. Not only that is, look at the texture in those cookies with all the little cracks and around the chocolate chips and everything else. So that leads us right into our next point. After you can do monotone and pull away from the color, but our next point is texture. As I say, look at those cookies. They look good, and all the cracks, they look awesome. What happens if we take these other cookies? They're a solid chocolate cookie. Now, I did shoot these ones on white, but look at the texture on all the little lines on the cookie. It adds dimension, it adds depth, it adds interest, and it makes those cookies look a whole lot better. So there you go. Short, sweet. It's not that difficult. You just got to pay attention to the details. Lighting, as I say, is crucial. So we corrected our lighting, we corrected our white balance, we've added some interest by adding specular highlights, we've added extra interest by adding a pop of color when needed and not going overboard with it, and you can even play in the monotone world. So that's it. That's a wrap. That's it for this one. Hopefully your brown food photography is now upped and that food will look delicious when you try and do your advertising. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you're aware when I post new videos like this. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help out. So until the next time.